And what did you come across? Or who did you come across, rather?
Well, I spoke to Emil.
Yeah.
Emil Williams, one of the Kofifi lenders. Let's go back and hear what he had to say earlier today. 97.2 Kofifi FM. This is your station where it will begin. On a Better Nation Monday. Tonight we are talking about water scarcity, the problems that we might face as South Africa, as Kofifi lenders, if we don't save water. And of course, you are speaking about this tonight on the Daily Wrap-Up Show. Now, I'm here with Emil, one of the Kofifi lenders. Now, Emil, do you ever save water, and how do you save water? What tips will you give our Kofifi lenders when it comes to saving water?
I think you should always close your tap and ensure that it does not drip, And another thing is, like, when there's water running down the streets, if you can at least just call Joburg Water, and if Joburg Water can also at least make their numbers visible for us so that we can report leakages.
You just spoke about water leakages, spoke about water running down the streets, and you know that one other thing that we have a problem maybe is sewer systems in our communities. Is there maybe a sewer system in your community that are either overflowing or are not functional at all?
Yes, there's one in particular in Robert Street, in the main street, where the sewage is always running down the streets, and this is past where the hall where they're busy using the hall as the clinic now, and there's a lot of ill people there, and babies that are fragile, and this is bacteria that's flowing down in the streets, and that's not very good, and it happens frequently.
You're welcome to also send us your views on our Facebook page, Kofifi FM 97.2. Let's go back and hear what you had to say earlier today. On a Better Nation Monday, Kofifi FM 97.2. This is your station where it all began on the Daily Wrap-Up Show. As you continue building a better nation, I'm here with Cecilia, one of the Kofifi lenders, taking your views as well on the Daily Wrap-Up Show. Now, how do you save water, Cecilia, and how will you give our Kofifi lenders out there any tips when it comes to saving water?
You just use less water, and you must make sure your taps doesn't leak, and you have to bath once a day to save water. That's all.
Now, in other communities, we have seen sewage system failing or overflowing. Have you seen maybe any in this community or any other area beside Westbury?
This idea by us, if there's any pipes that is broken, the people report it and then they come fix it as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That last comment there from Cecilia, that's how we build a better nation. If you see something wrong in your community, you call those who are responsible to come and fix it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But you must bath once a day.
Only once a day.
Once a day.
MMC, how do you respond to, just the views of Kofifi lenders?
I think you're picking up a sense that people know that they have to save water. I guess an important question and critical is whether do they really save water. I guess it is indeed correct that you need to use water sparingly. When taps are dripping, people must, because there is that rubber in a tap that wears off as time goes on, that needs to be removed and changed. How do you ensure that you don't wash your car during the day when it's very hot? Or actually even sprinkling water on the garden when it is actually very hot, because the sooner you do that, then the water evaporates and it's gone. So that is a wasted resource. Basically, those are issues that people need to use, in helping us save water.
And bath once a day.
In fact, I think it's less correct.
Yeah.
Bath once a day. Do a shower that is not less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you are showering, and it has been proven that it should take 7 minutes.
Oh.
Yes, then you're saving quite a lot of water. But hey, some of us can't even swim, so we like to swim in the shower. We take forever in the shower. By 7 minutes is enough for a good shower. Then you're saving quite a lot of water. I guess there are comments about sewer blockages there and there. Can you please make sure that I get those streets? Then we can send the Joburg Water team to go look as to what is the problem. Some sewer problems are recurring, so they need to put in the jetting machine to check why is it really a recurring problem? Maybe the system could have collapsed underground, then they will be able to repair. But then Coffee Lenders, I think they are aware that we have shortages of water and we need to work at saving water.
Absolutely. And I think also she did mention that as soon as it gets reported, it gets repaired very quickly. So sounds like there's a speedy response from Joburg Water. Gavin, do you have any views in terms of what has been said and just when you hear how the Coffee Lenders are speaking about saving water, do you feel a lot more confident that people are aware that we are facing a big problem?
I think there is a big change of mindset, and I think on top of that, people are also starting to understand the cost of water. They're now they're getting their bills every month. They're seeing what they're having to pay. But I think we have to go further than that and start looking at rainwater harvesting. That's common principle in many countries, and we are a dry, water-scarce country. Those are the things that should actually be standard part of any community. Everyone should have a rainwater tank. Things like grey water recycling. Recycle what water we can on site at the house, so you can reuse that water for secondary purposes, irrigating your garden, veggie gardens. So that is the essence of what we do. Look at any form of recycling, the way we can turn waste into an asset that we can reuse again.
I remember the one conversation I had with you gentlemen was that we actually use water that we drink for the sewer. I mean, is there anything, I know MC, I'm throwing a curveball here, but and I think that stood out for me, that the water that we use to drink, we use it to flush the toilet with.
That's correct. We're flushing with potable water. Sorry.
Yeah. So, because, I mean, for me, I was like, I never thought that far. Because, when you think toilet, you just think toilet. You don't think, is there any way that we could look at, some of those alternative ways of actually reusing water for flushing our toilets instead of using clean drinking water?
No. Part of the GDS 2040 is exactly that. As we go towards, attaining the goals of the GDS 2040, we should have introduced alternative sources of water usages, like Evan is saying, using the grey water. Grey water is water that you naturally have a bath in, not a shower, not pulling up the plug in the bath, keeping that water. To do something, either irrigating the garden or, water that we do the washing, the washing there with. Don't throw away the water. Keep it, the water that you put stay soft in. Keep it and reuse it for something else. That is one. I think once we have shifted our mind towards us having alternative water sources, it would be better. And maybe an interesting part, Kevin, we went to... And when I say this thing, people are like, we are crazy. We went to South Korea 2 years ago with MEC, then 40IT, Kretane Matlang. And one thing that I found, in fact, we went to South Korea again 2 weeks ago with the mayor. We were looking at waste to energy issues this time. That time it was more about alternative sources of energy and water. So they took us to a sewer treatment works. These guys, and they showed us how they're managing sewer, turning it into drinkable water.
Sure.
No, but the most interesting part is like we're drinking water now. We're sitting in a meeting after we've done the tour of the place, and we're busy drinking water. Drinking water. And at the end of the presentation, during the goodbyes, this chap says to us, how is the water? No, it's nice. It's nice. I said, are you sure? This is that water.
Yeah.
And he used the words.
What?
This is the S water. And I was like, what? But you couldn't even pick up.
Yeah.
No smell. The water was properly cleaned. And that is what he said. Look, people in South Korea, this is part of our life. We reuse the water. We reuse the sewer. Turn it into water that people can consume. So we need, as South Africans as well, realizing that we don't have water, gradually move towards ensuring that we can change sewer into water that is drinkable, even if it's not, but turn it into water that we can use, in a healthy environment. So those, for me, those are critical alternative sources of water that we need to have. We have the rain harvesting program as part of our programs as well, but now we're focusing in schools, because we thought that if we start at schools, then we would be able to grow into a community for them to be able to start having. Joburg Water has purchased quite a number of JoJo tanks that they've deposited in a number of identified schools that we have. So it's a program that must roll out. But for me, those are alternative sources of getting water that we need to begin to entrench in our communities, and we reuse that water as well. So it's quite a long stretch, but we are determined to have water in 2019. So our people would have to walk the walk with us, and at least at the end talk the talk with us as well.
Absolutely, and this is why we have both guests in studio tonight, so that we can raise that level of consciousness, especially when it comes to resources such as water that we often take for granted. And you've got two more people that you spoke to, the fellow honorable member of Parliament.
Yes, Honorable Mfikoe. I spoke to two Kofifi lenders. Let's go back and hear what they had to say.
Cool.
And I'm here with one of the Kofifi lenders, Nikita, as we build a better nation on a Better Nation Monday. This is Kofifi FM 97.2, your station where it all began, your station with a difference. Now, Nikita, do you ever save water, and what tips will you give our Kofifi lenders on saving water? How do you save water, Nikita?
I think that you should bath a bit less, because certain people bath too much.
Or people bath too much, they're wasting water by bathing.
Yeah, especially colored girls like to bath too much. And then when you brush your mouth, do not leave the tap open. You should only use a certain amount of water, yes.
And when it comes to laundry as well, do you save water when it comes to doing your laundry? Or maybe washing a car, for example. Do you save water when it comes to that?
I think it's a waste, because personally at our house, we have a top loader, so it uses up a lot of water. So I think hand wash is much better, eh?
Now, have you seen maybe a sewer system in your community that is failing or overflowing? And what did you do about that particular?
Yes, there's a lot of sewage systems here amongst our flats, especially our flats. Dad will be in at Gerald flats. Most of the time, they do not come out to come and assist with the sewage water, so we need to find people to do it ourselves, because of there's kids playing there, and we would like to prevent them from getting sick from that water. Eh?
And that was Nikita. Let's go back and hear what the last Kofifi lender we spoke to had to say. I'm here with Julia, one of the Kofifi lenders. This is Kofifi FM 97.2, your station where it will begin on a Better Nation Monday. And yes, we are building a better nation by speaking to your Kofifi lenders, taking your views on the daily wrap-up. So now, Julia, how do you ever save water, and how do you do that? How do you save water?
But we drink water.
You drink water, and what do you do basically to save water?
I'm dealing with the taps that's leaking, pipes that's broken, drains that's not working, that main thing that's supporting the water into the house. We fix all that.
Okay, now, have you seen sewage systems in this community, sewer system, where maybe they're either overflowing or not working properly?
Yes, from the shop until here in front of the community hall. It was flowing, and it was, you could have seen, it's a sewage. It is very, very unhealthy for our kids. And the other one at this flat, Edward flat, the water is running constantly there.
And if you call... Now, Julia there spoke about the one at Westbury Recreation Center. And one of the first Kofifi lenders we spoke to as well mentioned that one in front of the Westbury Recreation Center. And we know that the Westbury Rec Center is currently used as a temporary clinic, while the Westbury Clinic is being rebuilt.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your comments. And MMC, how do you respond to that?
For the sewer that is flowing, we'd have to, as I said, get the areas, then get the teams to go check. I guess it's more unhealthy if it's next to the clinic, whether temporary or not. You can't have sewer running in front of our clinics or our community facilities. That is worse. So we'd have to get the teams. I'll appreciate if I could get those today,
Sure.
then send them to the team to sort out. If they can't get the standby teams out tonight, then tomorrow. As I